Fort Macleod for about 8 years as your town peace officer. So some of you may have liked me, some of you may have just hated me. I ended up being asked to run for council, and so with some help from my wife Nikki, I ended up having to make a speech. So here it goes. Many of the citizens of the town of Fort Macleod over the last few days have asked me to detail my election platform or agenda for council for the town of Fort Macleod. Well, I've done what you've asked. I stand in a different field than other candidates who stand before you. Some have been longtime council members, some have been born and raised in Fort Macleod and outlying areas. Well, I'm neither. I'm born in Vancouver, BC. I had a different upbringing, living in a big city where there is public transportation, social services, care facilities for the elderly, small family businesses, and large corporations. I left my nest of safety at home and joined the Canadian Armed Forces, seeing Canada and overseas. After 12 years, I decided to return home and returned home back to Vancouver and became a member of the Vancouver Port Authority. In 2005, my family decided to change our environment and our surroundings. So we decided to come to Alberta and make this our home. My wife Nikki grew up in Alberta and lived for a short time here in Fort Macleod, where her father, an iron worker, worked on the flume, the bridges surrounding southern Alberta, and the Saddle Dome in Calgary. My first job coming here to Alberta was working for Three River Rentals out of Lumbrick, Alberta, working for Stu and Teresa Han. That let me have a chance to work on the wind farm projects in Kettle Valley and Sauber Glen. Unfortunately, weather plays a large role, wind, snow, and just purchasing a home, I needed to look for another job. Thankfully, a fine friend of mine, Perry Fraser, encouraged me to come work at Bridge City Chrysler, where I worked as a lube tech. While there, he encouraged me also to become a member of the volunteer fire department, which I'm still part of. Within a few months, I started working for the town of Fort Macleod as your part-time bylaw officer. Within a year, I was moved into a full-time position when Sean Wells was town manager and started my training to become a town peace officer. This opened up many doors involving me in our community, such as the Traffic Safety Committee, Crime Prevention Committee, Bike and Safety Rodeos, and working with First Nations, Bridging the Gap, and attending powwows as a representative of our community. Working with youth and the FCSS, and joining the 2309 Army Cadet Corps as a civilian instructor. Okay, well, 3 minutes, gonna be up. So, some of the topics that were asked was lack of social services, lack of public transportation, working with Lethbridge Housing Authority to better accommodate those here in our community who require the services here in Fort Macleod. Giving a better understanding to employers and employees, providing proper knowledge of rights to workers from overseas and immigrant services in Lethbridge, and strategic planning. I believe after 8 years as your town peace officer, I'm ready to take the step in helping shape our community. Rather than sit idly by and watch from the benches, we as the citizens of Fort Macleod, that's in you, believe that it is vital to have a mayor who will retain an open mind and not place all of our eggs in one basket. Be biased could be a huge impediment down the road. We believe the mayor should place a huge emphasis on bringing our community, the MD of Willow Creek, and our First Nations closer together so that we are ready to face what other changes come in front of us. That's what my slogan is voice of the people. This is where my focus will always be in retrospect. Voting for me is voting for you, the citizens of Fort Macleod. Thank you.